Hey guys, welcome back to Friday Night Stories. Yeah, Friday Night Stories, some TQ3, TQ5 stories, Kingston, Borden, stuff like that. But I thought I'd start with the Tin Roof Distillery again, Whiskey Plank. It's the only stuff I got left in the house. It's whiskey. So try the Big Smoke, pour a glass of that. Yeah, there we go. Put that down here, out of the way. Yeah, getting over this cold. That's good. Grab your drinks, guys. I'll take my time sipping this so you can go to the fridge and grab something. Mmm. Oh, yeah. First one since last Friday. Taste of this stuff. Mmm. Delicious. Okay, let's see where we're gonna flash back to basic training because as you guys all know, you guys were in training that were in Cornwallis. You had people that were many miles away, and they were encouraging you to, you know, stick with it and get through it. And I did too. We all had our mothers and fathers. They had our backs too. And we know that they wrote us letters and all that while we were there in basic training. And but sometimes you have a girl too that gets you through that. And I gotta mention a girl that was a friend of my sister's, and she was from the Liverpool area, but she was living in Toronto, Downsview. She had her own apartment and everything. She wrote me about 5 letters. I was just looking at them today, and she was kept saying, hang in there. It's going to be good when it's done. It's going to be good, better for you. And she kept encouraging me, and that, and my determination, and that helped. That really pulled me along. And yeah, she even sent a picture and had a little arrow pointing at her apartment. Quite a big apartment there. And so she invited me to go see her in September of '82, and yeah, that's Peggy Wombolt there. And I was excited to go see her, and I did go see her. Yeah, and yeah, she made me. There was a party there at her house, and her friends, and I think her sister was there or something like that, and party, and it was great. And then she did have a boyfriend then, so you know. But we were alone one night in the apartment. She cooked me a pork chop supper, pork chops, applesauce, potatoes. It was awesome. A beer with it, well, a couple beers, 2 or 3 beers, and yeah, it was great. I stayed at her place for a few nights. Yeah. So cheers to her for writing all those letters to me. Cheers to her. Yeah. She's still kicking about, I think, up in Ontario. She's still kicking about. But to get through my training and in Kingston, yeah, you guessed it, another girl. Yeah. But this girl, she's been with me for 43 years. 43 years. Here's a Christmas party we went to. There's a store they used to call in Micmac called Consumers Distributing. Barb worked there, and we went to her Christmas party. And there's Barb with her blue dress on, and her hair is just awesome. Yeah, yeah, that's Christmas '83 right there. And she wrote me. Oh, I got a stack of letters up there. She wrote me up in Kingston to get me through that training. That was, and she even came up all the way on the train from Dartmouth or Halifax. Came all the way up to see me in Kingston. As you know, I still had a few weeks left of training. I think it was 4 or 5 weeks left, but she wanted to come up while the weather was still good. And yep, and that's her posing beside the right. I didn't mind her sitting on my car. She could sit on my car anytime she wanted to. So there she is posing with the TR6 there, the little motel we had there in Kingston. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. So that's we've all had the support like that over the years, and that's great. You need that because without it, it makes it rough. It makes it rough. Cheers, guys, to making it through another week at work. I know what it was like. I know what you're going through. I've been there and done it. When did I start my working career? Really, if you count paper route, I started when I was 11, and I quit working when I was 60. So what's that? I don't know. 59 years? That's 59 years of working. That's a fair amount. And you all probably do the same. Imagine. Let's see where we are here. Let's go to let's see. We did that one. Yep, we did that one. Number one. Oh, okay. We're in Barrie, Ontario. Well, we're in Borden on base, taking our training. And in Barrie, which is, I don't know if you can get there in 20 minutes. Maybe you can. A little over 20 minutes. There's a bar. So we could jump in a cab and go there, right? Splits on the cab back, I think. But I think, no, one of us had a car. Wasn't me. Might have been Wiggy. Anyway, maybe he was just having a couple of beers that night. Anyway, go into this pub, this bar in Barrie, and all the girls are wearing like they're sort of like Playboy bunny outfits, right? They look like Playboy bunny outfits, and they got the big bushy round bunny tail on their ass, right? And we're sitting there drinking, we're having a good time, watching these waitresses, they're there just walking around. It's just a regular bar, but they're dressed up like that. One comes over, gives us a drink. I get a drink. Kramer gets a drink. Wiggy gets a drink. I can't remember who else was there. I can't remember. They'll let me know. Not sure. I don't think Sean was there because he probably would have stood up and did something. I'll get into the story, but me, Wiggy, Kramer, and maybe Maxted. Maybe Maxted. I can't remember. Paul Maxted, maybe. There could have been someone else. I can't recall. Anyways, we're sitting there, and she comes over and brings Pat a beer. And just as she turns away, Pat reaches, rips the old bunny tail right off her ass. she she looks around and she smiles. And Pat goes, "She liked that." I said, "Yeah, she liked it, but I don't know about her boyfriend over there, right?" So later, another half hour or something, we find out that just we hear people talking, right? Or she comes over and says something, you know, that's my boyfriend, he just got out of jail, and So he has to behave himself or something like this. I don't know. I guess he's a scrapper, right? So I don't know. So we carry on, and comes to a point I got to go to the washroom because I can't hold it forever. And I head to the washroom, and I get in there, and all of a sudden, geez, the boyfriend of the bunny tail girl, he steps in the washroom. Two of his buddies step in the washroom. I'm pissing there, and I'm thinking, this ain't looking good. this this ain't looking good, right? Uh, so Kramer comes in, and Kramer goes, Ron, hurry up. So I finish off. I get out. The fucking the boyfriend of the bunny tail girl, he follows me out. So I just turned around. I looked down. And I go, what? And he's looking at me, and I'm saying, and I say to him, Kramer's still in the washroom having a leak. And I say, did you see that guy that walked in there? The guy goes, yup. I said, you know what? He's got specialized in hand-to-hand combat. And he's staring. The guy's staring at me. He's a husky bugger, a couple inches taller than me. And I said, you know what he does? But he goes, no. I said, what he does? I said, he plucks your eyes out, and when you can't see, he beats the fuck out of you. And Buddy looks at me straight face. He goes, I always wanted to meet a guy like that. I thought, oh, fuck, we're in trouble. So I turn, I go back to my table. Kramer comes out. He sits down. I drink my beer. Of course, it's a long neck. It was a long neck bottle of beer, and they didn't pour it in a glass for you. You drink the beer bottle. I'm thinking, Wiggy's getting worried. Wiggy's saying, we got to go, guys. We got to go. We got to go. So, yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go. I said, but we're going to sit here. We're going to finish our beer. We're not being rushed out. We're going to finish our beer. So, Buddy comes over, right? The boyfriend of the bunny girl. And he looks at me and goes, me and you outside right now. I said, ain't going to happen. I said, anything's going to happen. It's going to happen right here and right now. And I slide my beer bottle off the table, and I have it down here by by the chair here like this. And I'm just waiting for him. I'm just waiting. Kramer knows what I'm going to do, right? But we're going to have to run like bastards once I do it, right? I'm just waiting for him to take a swing at me. Because if he was going to take a swing at me, I was going to be up, and just do a Johnny Windsor on him with the bottle in my hand and crack right across his friggin' temple. And then we were gonna boogie. Because he's got a bunch of other guys with him, right? So now he knew that if he started something in there and the police showed up, he's back in behind. He's in cells again. So he didn't do it. But we could feel the tension. We stayed for another 20 minutes. We could feel the tension, and we decided, yeah, we better get the fuck out of here. So we burned out of the bar, hopped in the car, and boom, down the road we went. We didn't want to take any more risks than we already taken. So that was pretty wild. Now I probably I probably told you this story before, but I might have got it a little mixed up. When I first saw the TR6, it was in Lindsay, Ontario, and it was on a lawn because in Kingston, on the base, I jumped on the back of Sean McComb's 500 Ascot. That's a red one he had, and a single piston, 500cc, I think it was. And so I just had a little bit of seat there. I don't even think I had a grab thing. I had to hold his waist or something. I don't think there was a grab strap or nothing. There might have been something in the back I was holding. I can't remember. Anyway, we're blasting down the highway, going down to his place for the weekend, just boogieing. And we come up behind this 18-wheeler, right? And Sean, he's a good rider, and he's looking. So he sees the opportunity. He cranks her, man. And then we cranks her. We just get up, and I see, okay, written there, Canadian Tire on the side of the 18-wheeler. We just get up to the cab of the 18-wheeler, and there's a car coming. And then Sean just gives her a little bit more, and we get in, just the car goes by. Whew, people. I'm not sure if I told that story before, but anyway, we get there. I see the car. I contact the owner. It's got a list price of $5,000. It's freshly painted. I don't realize there's some body work on the rear fender tips, and I don't really realize that. There's a bit of body feel here and there on it, but overall, it's pretty good. I take it to I meet the owner. We go to Canadian Tire. We put it on the lift. I look it all over. Mechanic looks it all over. Looks solid. Runs good. Stuff like that. So I did not buy it there, like I originally probably told you. I think what we did, Sean had his old Suburban. I think we rode back in the Suburban back to Kingston. So I remember riding in the Suburban. And then I went to Toronto Dominion Bank on Princess Street in Kingston. And I got the loan for $5,000. And then I think we went the next weekend. I think we went back. And that's when I picked up the TR6 to bring it back to Kingston, back to the base. That's what happened. Yeah. And it had around 68,000 miles. So it was miles on the British cars, right? Yeah. It looked good. It looked good. That's for sure. What else we got here? We're getting into that. Okay, which one should I do first? I think the first time, okay, I went down to Donnie McIsaac's place down in Niagara Falls, Ontario, down to Donnie's, and he said, let's go over to Niagara Falls, New York, Buffalo, yeah, New York, across the bridge. We'll go to there's a good pub over there. We'll go over there. So we went over there, and geez, we must have stayed there 3-4 hours or something like that. And I'm sure we got a cab over there. We weren't driving. And Donnie goes, I'm going to go home. But you come home anytime you want, Ron, if you want to stay over for another hour. I said, yeah, I'm going to stay another hour. Yeah, why not? Good tunes playing on there. They're blasting Billy Idol, dancing with myself and all that stuff. That was a good tune. And so I'm just having a good time there. And maybe an hour goes by. It's probably, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're shutting the bar down, whatever. And so I decided to walk back. But I don't walk back the regular bridge where cars drive. I decide I'm going to take the railroad bridge. I'm going to walk the railway bridge. And there was nobody blocking it. So I just started walking the railway bridge all across the water, all drunked up. And I thought if a train comes, I could be in trouble here. But because there was no path for anybody to walk. I was just walking on the ties, right? And no train came. No customs official stopped me. I walked right across, right back into Canada. I made it back to Donnie's place. I knew where it was. I walked up the different streets, and I found out where I remembered the roads to take to get to his place. And I was back at his, so safe, snug in a bug, man. But I could have fell in, could have hit by a train, could have got shot by the border officials. Something was luck on my side somewhere along the line there. I'd say. Did you get your drink yet, people? Did you get your drink yet? I hope so. Jeez. We got this thing wrapped up the other day, as you know, the back, that back brake back there. Boy, she went good. She went good. I just put the charger on the battery there this afternoon, charge that up. Yeah, let me get a Guinness here. Step by you. Let's see, put that there, grab that there, grab this here, grab the old Reginald mug. Sit down like that. There she be. Good old Guinness, people. As you know, I had a couple the other night when I was feeling really sick, and it helped. Really helped. Knocked that cold right out of me. Yeah, it did. Knocked it right out of me. Yeah. I can put this up here. Just make sure everything's kosher. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So, where are we now? Let's take a sip of Guinness and see. Did you get your drink yet? Wine, beer, cooler, whiskey, rum, tequila, I don't know, margarita, something. Oh my God, that's delicious. Damn. Yeah, winter's still hanging on. It's cold as ice out there. Cold as ice. Okay, here comes the sad part. Well, sad for the TR6, sad for me. Yep, very sad. Very sad. So, I thought it was Thanksgiving, but I think it must have been before Thanksgiving. Of course, we want to go down to Donnie's place again in Niagara Falls, and we want to drive the TR6 down because I don't recall him having a car in Kingston. I don't think he did. So, well, he says, "Come on down." He said, "There's a girl." He said, "I told a girl about you in Niagara Falls, and she wants to meet you." I thought, well, least I can do is go down meet her. I don't know. I got no serious intentions about anything, but I'll go down and see her because she gave Donnie a picture of herself. She wrote on the back of it for Ron Lynch, Carol Ann Reynolds, and she put the date on it. And I thought, well, okay, I'll go down and see her. She got that 80s style hair. That's the way the hair was in the 80s. Like that. Those long fingernails on her. Yeah. So, but I never got to see her in person because as we got close to Trenton, Ontario, actually, that's where Sean McComb lives now. Trenton, Ontario, the oil pressure gauge in the TR6 started going like this. Lower, 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 lower. I was losing power. I had no power. It was just like less and less and less and less. And all of a sudden, zzz, I hear like zzz, just like a loud clanking, buzzing, clanking sound, clank, 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 and that's it. She wasn't firing anymore. She just barely chugging. I had to pull it over the side of the road. I didn't know what was wrong. It spun the number 5. So it was the 5th piston back. This was a straight 6 motor. The 5th piston back from the front. It spun the rod bearing. I believe it was a rod bearing. It wasn't a crank bearing. It was the rod bearing of that piston. Spun it, and then of course no more oil pressure, right? It spun that right out and chewed up the journal and all that. Chewed up the crankshaft and all that. It was screwed. So luckily we were only, I don't know, half a mile from an exit. And when you come off that exit, there was a garage, a little Esso garage. And the guy, just coincidence, he worked on British sports cars. He didn't do the full machining of the engines and stuff like that, but he worked on British sports cars. His name was Peter Northrup. That was his name. And so he took the car into a shop, took the motor out, and he had to get all the parts from Jaguar of Canada because they were the rep for British parts coming into Canada. in Toronto, get all the parts that were required for the machine shop, the engine shop in Trenton. Tore it all down, rebuilt it. And I tell you, when I first drove it, boy, she had some guts. She had guts when she pulled away. She was torquey little bugger, and it was $2,500 back in 1983 to get that motor rebuilt, and that was half the price of the car, what I paid for the car, right? So it was going to take a while. It was going to be done by the time I had to leave Kingston, which was probably the end of October, to go to my base, to go to Gagetown, New Brunswick. And so I'm not sure how I got down there. Somebody drove me down. I got there. I picked up the car, and I drove it back myself to Kingston. But I could notice the heat. The heat gauge was sitting a little bit like above half, not three-quarter, but was, there. And I thought, it's just running hot because it's a new engine, right? It's got to burn in, break in and stuff. And I wasn't driving it hard. I was only doing 55, 60 miles an hour. I thought, that'll be all right. So I get to the base and I load up all my luggage. And Pat Wiggins, is in his Monza. I think that was a 1980 Monza. Um, and he's packing. He had a gold Monza. He's packing up his stuff. I'm packing my stuff up, and we're gonna sort of follow each other, take turns, follow each other all the way to his place, St. John's, or maybe we're just going. Yeah, probably just go right to Gagetown first. Yeah. So we don't even get to Cornwall. Uh, let's see where we're at here. We don't even get to Cornwall. I think it's an hour, or it's close to 2 hours from Kingston. And then my heat's going right. My heat's pagging now. It's just pagging, and I start to smell. I'm smelling something burning. I'm smelling burning, and all of a sudden, kaboom, like that, and all the smoke rolled and rolled out the fender wells like that. She just blew a head gasket. The head gasket just blown right to smithereens, right? That is toast. Toast, right? So Wiggy realizes that, and he pulls over too, and I have to pull over, and somehow we towed it. We got some rope or something. We towed it to the motel so we could stay at the motel. And I called this guy, and I said, I didn't get 2 hours from Kingston. I said, the motor blew apart. I said, you're coming to Cornwall, and you're coming here to pick up the car now. And he goes, I was pissed. He goes, we can come tomorrow morning, but we're going to leave first thing in the morning. We'll be there. We'll be there by noon. Well, he did get there by noon. What kind of towing apparatus he had? He had a heavy, heavy rope, and he had some big dude with him, and they were just going to hook it up to his truck or whatever like that, and hook the rope up to the TR6, and they hauled it down the highway with a fucking rope. 4 hours. That's what they did. They got it. They got it there, but fuck, I was pissed. Anyway, that sat there until I think November. They had to get it. They had to get it rebuilt. The machine shop had to rebuild it. Yeah. So it must have been. I think it was late November, early December. I think, geez, I got to drive this TR6 all the way across Canada in the fucking winter. But I had to, and I was freezing my ass off, man. So I got a flip from Shearwater. That's like a free, they call a flip back in those days. Canadian Air Force's flight. It's called a flip. So I got a flip from Shearwater to Trenton, Ontario. Landed there on the base. Got off the base, called the guy up. He said, "Yeah, I'm just up at the Legion. We're having a party. I don't know, pre-Christmas party or something. They're having a party, a dance or something. It's about, I think it was around 10:30 at night. Time I got there, right? So I get there. He's a good guy. He says, "Okay, let's go down to the shop." Down to the shop, and he opens it up, shows me the engine. He said, "Yeah, we had to, bore it out a bit, put some new pistons and stuff like that, and head gasket. Everything else was good." Um, he said, "But that rad, you should really replace that rad." He said. I said, "Well, as long as it's not leaking." I said, "As long as it's not leaking out any fluid," I said, "I'll be fine." He goes, "No, it's not leaking anything." I said, "Okay." So we got the keys, and I set off. And I think I drove at least to Kingston. I might have stayed in barracks there that night. And from there, I went from Kingston to somewheres in Montreal, La Polk Chair or something like that. Just outside Rivière du Loup, I guess. I don't know. And then another day driving. But luckily, I didn't run into too much snow on the highway, so the car, would make it. But I mean, it's not good on a sports car, right? Plus, the cold temperatures was just the heater couldn't keep up. It was just like I was freezing, right? I was freezing the whole time. But I made it. I made it to Gagetown, and that's where the TR6. I did use it a bit. You know, I drove it back and forth to Dartmouth quite a few times. Um, yeah, and no, it's good. Other than that engine, engine blowing up. Uh, yeah, there's another story comes later on. When I get posted to Borden, when I actually get posted to Borden from Gagetown. Yeah, that'll come up next week probably. But I think that's all we can. I don't think there's anything else. Well, maybe I got something else. I did bring it home. The TR6, I brought it home, and I have to get you a picture of this guy here. Anyway, I take my friends out for a ride in it, right? So, of course, I got the tunes blasting, right? And I take uh, I take Kenny out for a ride in it. You remember the guy that first rode with me in the Vega when I didn't have a license? Remember him? Yeah, that's the guy. So we're blasting down. We come up Woodland, go down the highway, make a right as we're going by Micmac. I got stereo blasting. I don't know, John Cougar or Aldo Nova or something's blasting the radio. And Kenny goes, "Turn down the music. Turn down the music." He says, "I want to hear the exhaust." So I just want to hear that exhaust. And it did sound good. So there's Kenny, but you can't really tell, but he's dressed up for Halloween there. And that's not all his real hair. That's part of the outfit there. And I was wearing my brother-in-law's combats. This was before. Yes, this must have been before, or yeah, I joined the military. Yeah, we were out for Halloween. So that's that story. Yeah, but yeah, I did see. I was in the TR6, and I was going down Woodland Avenue, and I stopped at the lights. I was waiting for the light to turn green, and up around the corner on the ramp there comes Drew. The guy that built that V8 Astra. And he slows right down. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I joined the Army." He said, "What did you do that for?" I said, "Couldn't find any work." I said, "I had to do something." Then off he goes. Poor guy, though. I don't know if I told you this last time, but he was trying to make a few extra bucks, and he was painting underneath the McDonald Bridge sometime in the '80s. And I don't know what type of safety harnesses they had. They didn't have much back those days. Anyway, he slipped and he fell right down to the concrete to his death. He didn't. He wasn't going to survive that one. No. So, but what a waste of talent. That guy could rip a car apart blindfold and put it back together. But that's, you don't know. You just don't know. Uh, you know, how many days you got, how many days you got left. So enjoy every one. So, like always, guys, I want to thank you for dropping back for the story night. Uh, and I'm sure I'll write down some more pages for next week. Yeah, sure I will. And we'll think of some more stuff. But like always, I'd like each and every one of you to stay safe out there. You know what I mean. Thunder Road.